we'll bring.
Dig my grave with a silver spade. Dig my grave with a silver spade. Dig my grave with a silver spade. Let me down with a golden chain.
What is up, everybody? I'm Courtney.
And I am Sean.
And we are.
And Hill City Paranormal. We've already got some people.
Yeah. Hey, Mom.
Hey, Ma. What's up? All right. And we can get it on the night. You smoke. I drink. Me too. We're good. Oh, my bad. That's a song. You know, back in the day. Hip hop. Cameron. You don't know about that. You know.
Michelle.
Michelle Wilfong in the house. What's up, girl?
Oh, Lord.
I'm
Howie is here early.
Mr. Howie, Dr. Ed Odell in his house. What's up? Hey, look, hey, Howie, my man, we got to talk. I'll catch up with you after the show, brother.
Howie says, hey, Mama D.
But before we go on, check out Michelle Wilfong on YouTube. Her YouTube series is great. If you believe in orbs and haunted apartments, check it out. I dig it. It is the bomb. I like it. I follow it. Check it out. And Howie with the Riff Nation Network, his podcasts are fire. I like it. I learn a lot from it. His teams he has is great. Riff Nation Network. Shout out
Orion
ASPS. Orion. I was getting there. Damn it.
ASPS.
Damn. Give me a.
Come on. We got shit to do.
I know I'm slow. I'm excited about the podcast too. ASPS. Check him out.
Amy,
we got a new team on the block.
Do you remember her team name?
Shit.
Jinkies.
Jinky, yeah. That's
Paranormal.
right. Jinky. Getting jinky with it. Nah.
There they are.
Nah.
Hey,
Yes.
Brad and Jess.
Yes.
Jinkies Paranormal.
Yes.
And Paul Fowler shared a link.
North Carolina, Coastal Plains. Yes.
He keeps his notes, Paul.
I ain't got no notes. Ain't no notes right here. I didn't look down. You did not see the eyes.
Wait, everybody saw you look down. Okay.
Look down.
Leah. Hi, Leah.
I was looking at your pretty legs. That's what I was looking at.
Lord. Debbie
legs.
Cushman. Hi, honey. Where's the hair?
You are still the haunted Octagon Mansion in my book.
All right, Paul. My orb video I sent you is not an MP4 format, but check this out, Paul. I will go back in a few and convert it.
Yes, we'll check it out.
Okay,
We'll check it out.
I won't be able to do it on this show.
Leah, hi Leah, how you doing, girl?
That takes a little bit of time, but
Leah?
yeah.
All right,
I spoke to Leah.
All right, this is a podcast y'all been waiting for. You know, I made a new friend in the paranormal world.
Wait, we're not done. Who else you got?
James Brady was spirit led. I did not look down.
Everybody watched you look down. That's
I did not look down.
Michael Brooks, Fredericksburg Paranormal.
Fredericksburg in the house. Good friends of ours.
Court, Howie witnessed something out of this world. What did he witness? I've been at work all day.
You got to watch Howie's live. See, y'all be slacking on Howie. You got to watch
Kim Sage, psychic medium.
Kim Sage is in the house.
Sacred Sage Healing.
It is an honor, ma'am, for you to be here. Yes, we take them in and bow to them.
That's right, yes. To the queen.
Yes, to the queen.
Debbie said the hair is present and accounted for.
Oh, yeah, the hair. You know, the porn star himself, Mr. John.
April with Paranormal Variant.
What's up, April? How you doing? Good. Always good
James
to see you,
is
man.
Proud of you.
Thank you. I've been working on it. I told you. It takes me a minute. I used to be a fighter back in the day, so I've been hitting the head a lot. You know, it takes me a minute.
Howie said he's working on a letter.
Howie.
Wink, wink.
Howie. I appreciate that, brother.
Shonda, Fredericksburg Paranormal. Kim, we miss you so much. Like, I need to seriously set a day. Like, I don't know. We're taking a road trip.
Yes.
All right. Without further ado, guys.
Where'd he go? Oh, there he is.
Chris has disappeared.
Yeah, that's the New Jersey people.
We had the pleasure. I need to roll out the red carpet for Chris, okay? Because we had the pleasure recently of investigating with Chris Mendez.
I tried to tell you it was Mendez. You would call him Mendak. What is a Mendak?
No, you said Mendez.
No, I didn't. I said Mendez. I've been saying it. Chris and I had a conversation. I told Chris, I said, Chris, you don't like black.
Sean's
Well, you
full
don't
of
like black
shit.
people, do you? Chris said, what do you mean?
All right.
But look,
Anyway,
hey, hold on before we go there. Alexis,
this dude.
We do invite people to join us at times. However, we don't do it when we're interviewing people. But if you want to get on the show, shoot us a inbox.
I'm trying, Chris. I'm trying.
We got you.
I'm trying.
Rhonda
Harris, psychic medium.
Another queen.
All right. So long story short, guys.
FPI. All right, let's get our boy in here. Our man.
Okay. I'm just going to pop him in because you just talk too much.
You know, black people talk a lot.
Let him tell it. I don't ever let him talk. You hear that, Mom? He admitted.
She doesn't.
But guys, we recently had the pleasure of investigating with this gentleman and Sean Austin. Please give a warm on the other side welcome to Chris Mendez.
What's his last name?
With Supernatural Untold Stories.
What's going on, guys? Welcome. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, Emily, Lost Souls.
What's up?
Yeah, this James had said something. Can't wait to see you all this weekend.
Yeah,
for those that don't know, this weekend at St. Albans is Enigma Cons.
We in there.
We're there. If you're not,
sorry for you. That's a loss. Get to St. Albans. If you're not going, you need to be there.
That's
anyway,
an awesome spot too.
Yeah.
Great spot.
Yes. This will be our second time
Yeah.
Going to St. Albans. And there was just
business.
First of all, guys, there's a whole video of me getting scared.
Yeah, you did get scared. I need to find that video and post it.
But it was not due to anything supernatural.
Yes, it was.
No, there wasn't.
Yes, it was.
This bat tried to kill me. Dracula tried to kill me.
Was it Dracula or Blackula?
I don't know what it was. I don't care. I did a duck dive roll on the floor. I ain't never moved my big ass so fast in my life. Let me tell you something. This thing swooped down and tried to dive bomb me. Okay. My life flashed before my eyes. I was petrified. But there was a lot of stuff that happened there that we can't explain. So
yes.
as Sean said, unfinished business.
Unfinished business. That's
that
a nice
awesome. I feel like every time I go there, not to cut you guys off, but like
I
have some crazy experiences like every single time. But it's a neat spot. If you guys haven't checked it out, you definitely should check that spot out. It's neat.
Yeah,
yes,
James, you were there. You saw the bat.
No,
it was not itty bitty.
That bat was big, man.
That was an eagle.
That's a nice show. Might be a little different. We're gonna share some videos tonight. We're gonna do something we normally don't do, which is share some evidence.
Yes.
And it might go a little longer than an hour. So we hate to step on the freaking awesome paranormal shows. They're our brother, they're our friend. We love them. We love Rhonda. But tonight we might go a little longer because we got a whole lot to talk about tonight. A whole lot to discuss. So, Chris, floor is yours, brother. Tell us about the untold stories, the supernatural untold stories.
I got you. So basically, Supernatural Untold Stories, that's just a recent page that I started. I used to have a couple other pages like Teddy and Chris, where I brought my dog Teddy with me to actually investigate different locations and stuff like that, which was definitely neat. It was always cool seeing the reaction.
How did that go?
It was interesting. We got a lot of reaction to it. I think Sean, when I took not Sean, this Sean, but the other Sean, when I took Sean out with me to Burlington County Prison, we brought Teddy. Teddy was just a little puppy. He started getting scared going down the steps. So we're like, oh man, that's kind of weird. Like he likes steps. He's usually not like this with steps. I ended up picking him up, and Sean got a really good AVP of like the spirits talking about the puppy, or like it was something in regards to look at the little puppy, or I like the little puppy, and it was interesting. But you can definitely see different reactions and different things when you bring a dog out, which is awesome. But he's a little too big now. He's an all-black German Shepherd.
Ooh. We got a German Shepherd too.
I want to take my dog's paranormal investigating, but let me explain, okay? I feel like I need to go to bat for my my dogs. So I've got an all black pit mix, but he just has to go around smelling everything and pee on everything. And so he's out of the question, right? And then we got a German Shepherd, and she just wants to bring you a toy and play and run. But I wonder if we separate the two.
You can.
What if we just took Athena? Zuko's going to pee on everything, so he's out of the question.
Yeah.
It's always good bringing your own dog, especially when you know their reactions and you see how they react to different environments. It's actually pretty cool.
That's like a great tool. That's a great tool.
You're giving me some thoughts here.
Now, you gave me a really cool story, though, and I'd love for you to share that story.
Amy?
Which one was that?
About the time you took your dog to a location that animals were getting killed at.
Yes. So Sean found or was called to go to a place in Connecticut. It was old dog pound. Basically, the guy ended up killing all the dogs in the pound and like stuffed their bodies in school buses, and the school buses were actually like buried underground, which is insane. And long story short, the guy I guess ended up getting arrested for it, and he basically just killed all these animals and had them there. This new owner ended up buying the location, so he called Sean, asked Sean if he wanted to go out there and check it out. So I actually drove to Connecticut with Teddy, and we brought Teddy with us, and he was just freaking out the entire time. Didn't want to go in the actual like dog kennel area where they kept all the dogs. He would freak out, like start crying, like basically throw himself on the ground and not want to go in there. And we started walking through the woods, and as we're walking through the woods trying to find this location where like the buses are buried on the ground because they're still there. We ended up finding it, and as we're finding it, we got some pretty cool responses that were coming through the like EVP, and we were using a different app at the time to try to test out. And one of them was in regards to Teddy, and it was just talking about like, harming Teddy. And there was another one telling Teddy to stop, but I have Teddy trained in German, so when I tell him to stop is 9. So the app itself actually said 9, basically telling Teddy to stop too, which was pretty interesting. But like I said, it's cool to just bring different things down and experiment with it and see how it reacts, including an animal like a dog.
I mean, I think that's definitely interesting that like you were getting EVPs in German, because like we could totally take Athena.
Yeah, our German Shepherd's trained in German as well.
So both of our dogs are trained in German. But I'm wondering with the language thing.
That's crazy though.
You got my like thoughts.
Yeah, you didn't tell me that part. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's so many things that happened that day. I still have like videos from it all. I have to go through and put it all together, but it was definitely interesting. A lot had to do with Teddy, and they actually took us right to where the buses were at, which was even cooler. But we found one of the buses still had remains inside of it and stuff like that, but it was buried on the ground, so all you can basically access was the hatch from the top. And the guy was telling us to be careful because of the bear and stuff that were in that area that like to go in that area as well. So.
I mean, I feel like I could sit here and watch serial killer documentaries all day, but if you like put a scene in there where a dog is like injured or murdered, I'm done. Like I am an absolute train wreck.
I'm the same way. I like animals way too much.
Like, yeah, I'm not like a huge like animal freak, but dogs, yeah, for sure.
Especially, when you've had them since they were a puppy and, you spent all that time with them. Now you build,
Those are your besties.
Yeah, it's like your third child or your second child or however many kids you have.
That's what we say all the time. Like we have 2 children. Well, you with 3. Amy, let me answer your question really quick. The answer is no. The bats are very alive and present throughout the whole entire sanitarium. So with that being said, they give you like a tutorial when you go, and there's always one in every crowd that cannot listen to keep the flashlights on the ground. So that is what happens. And it's okay. Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle. How you doing?
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, ma'am.
James said he always wanted to have a dog on an investigation. I think we should try this.
No.
I'm going to try it. It doesn't matter. You can say no. I'm taking her.
Listen, you guys got access to that really cool cemetery. You should definitely bring it out there and see how it reacts. I mean, especially when it's your dog, you can see the dog's reaction. You're already familiar with it. You can see like if he's acting out of norm or not.
Well, we've had both of our dogs actually in the cemetery, but
Zuko went and peed on everything.
Zuko was peeing on everything as usual. He's male. He's an intact male, like point blank period. So he has to make sure everybody knows he's there. But the one thing that Athena did is she started like trying to dig, and Athena's not a digger. So I was like, what the hell? So I went over there, and that's when we found those graves from the 1700s.
Yeah.
or something, or it was like early 1800s or something, ones that we had never seen. So I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah.
It's definitely interesting. I mean, especially now, like with the app that we have, it actually listens to different languages as well. And it'll come through in different language if it's listening to any EVPs or anything like that. So,
and dogs hear on a different frequency. So I'm wondering if they could hear spirits before we do. Like
you hit it right in the head.
Like, I mean, look at those like dog whistles and stuff that I can hear them. I don't know who else in the comments can hear those things or who can't. I can hear them. They drive me insane.
Yeah, so they hear in different decibels. So there's different decibels that they hear. Especially when you're talking about the dog whistles and stuff like that. A lot of dogs, when they hear those type of high pitched sounds and stuff like that we can't hear, you'll see the back of the scruff of the back of their hair like actually stand up, and the scruff like near their butt usually stands up too, especially when they're looking around. And a German Shepherd would be best for it because they're naturally like protectors, so they're automatically trying to save you from whatever's there.
To date, I've been saved by approximately 5 trash bags that have blown across my yard, a couple of mailmen that have delivered packages 3 houses down. I definitely owe my life to my German Shepherd.
That's funny.
But yes. Anyway, like Sean said, tell us a little bit, like, how did you get started paranormal investigating?
Oh, man, I'll tell you, it's a pretty interesting story. I mean, I've always had, I grew up in Puerto Rico. So I grew up around the whole, paranormal, supernatural stuff going on, especially like with UFOs and things like that, Puerto Rico is kind of known for. But I was always, as I was growing up, I was always told, it's not real. Don't believe in it. Whatever you see, it's not true. Like, it's your mind's playing trick on you. Therefore, I started closing myself out a lot to, different paranormal stuff. And honestly, I stopped believing it. I didn't think it was real. I thought it was just a lot of BS. It wasn't until about 2017 when I was actually at my old house where I was staying at, and I was spending a good amount of time by myself at that house. I have 2 daughters. Basically, they weren't there at that time. They weren't there for a little while. And it started that basically everything started off with me watching TV and hearing a little girl in my hallway basically saying, "Can I have some chips?" I looked over. I'm like, "No, you can't have no chips." Then I realized, I'm like, oh crap, like I'm by myself. There's nobody here. I was like, you know what? I'm listening.
Guys.
Like, you know what? So I'm like, I might be hearing things. Like, I just played it all, pretending it was just me. Then from that moment forward, there was like different activities just starting to kick up around the house. At the time, I still do. I go out to like a lot of antique shops. I buy different antique things from different antique shops, yard sales, whatever, you name it. I ended up buying a World War II Foot Locker. It was actually a soldier. His name is still on there. It was William, had his military ID number on the actual Foot Locker.
Very cool.
So at the time, I was taking it apart, trying to make it into a coffee table, basically, just for the center of the room, which I thought would look pretty cool. That same Foot Locker is the same Foot Locker that I used to use when I came home from work. I would take my vest off, take my belt off, take my gun off, throw it in there, lock it. Because you can lock it, it's a Foot Locker. So at nighttime when I would go to bed, I would hear the lock itself moving. I always thought it was a dog. At the time, I had a different German Shepherd. His name was Trigger. I always thought it was Trigger, but when I would hear it, I would look down and Trigger's actually laying right by the bed. I had no other animals in the house. It was just me. There's nobody there. So I'm like, that's interesting. Like, I wonder what's moving that lock. Long story short, a couple other times I kept hearing footsteps around the hallway. It all revolved around the one hallway. Started hearing footsteps, started hearing like voices, like little kids and stuff like that. So I'm like, I got to call somebody for this. I said, this isn't normal. Like, I don't know if I'm just hearing it. I don't know what's going on. So a buddy of mine, who's Mike, at the time was doing paranormal investigations. He was like real big into investigating. He still is. So I called him, let him know what was going on. He's like, oh, dude, I'll come over like this week or whatever. So he stopped by the house, I think it was a Friday night into a Saturday. I had an outdoor shed. So he set up all his TVs and cameras, everything outside, set up the cameras inside my old house and like set different places, different DVR systems and stuff like that all throughout the house. Set up 5 recorders. He kind of like did overkill with recorders at the time. They were like the nice Zoom recorders. So I was picking literally everything up like inside the house. Long story short, within 20 minutes of starting the investigation, all the recorder batteries died. So we started changing the batteries from the living room and worked our way out to there was a recorder in each room, including the bathroom. So we changed the recorder batteries in the living room. We had a camera facing down the hallway. I had a camera in my hand. We go to my kid's room, change the batteries there. He goes into my room, changes the battery there. While he's inside my room, clear as day, I hear a woman, older woman, saying hello, but the hello is like in a tunnel. Like it sounds like it's very echoey, like very like distinct. Like definitely didn't come from outside. Kind of had the whole house like controlled. There's really like no sounds or nothing coming from anywhere. The people that were with us were inside the shed outside, so it wasn't from them, and they said that it wasn't from them as well. We left the recorder outside of the house also just to record the outside audio and try to compare with the inside audio. Long story short, you see me on the camera. Luckily, we had just changed the batteries to the recorder in the living room, and that's where I heard this female like basically saying hello from. I looked at Mike. I'm like, yo, like, did you hear? Like, I'm freaking out, like telling him, like, did you hear this woman saying hello? Like, he's looking at me, like, looking at me dead in the face. He's like, dude, I didn't hear anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, just at this point, I start freaking out. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, I heard this woman saying hello. So I go over to the recorder, take the recorder out, plug it into the computer, and listen to the exact audio, and it's right there, clear as day. A woman saying hello, like very faint, very like robotic almost. It was probably one of the coolest things, and actually, that's what kind of got me back hooked into the paranormal and started going about and doing investigations. I ended up joining his team, and then from there, it kind of like started on my own thing. And ever since then, here I am today doing my stuff now with supernatural untold stories.
Running up and down all over the country.
All over.
Can you see the comments?
Let me see. How about when you walk down the hallway and the light bulb just instantly exploded? Oh yeah, that's that guy. Victor is actually my nephew. He used to live in that same house with me. Like after we figured everything out that was going on. Long story short, we ended up finding out that the actual house sat in Native American land. Not only was I having the activity at my house, my two other neighbors were having the same exact activity. So when it was quiet at my house, it would actually be picking up at their houses. So it was like, if you look at the map, the houses were actually set up in like a triangle base.
So all of you guys were experiencing hauntings, like
the same exact haunting, but it was all like based on a triangle, and they all sat like right on the ley lines, which we looked at it afterwards.
Interesting.
Pretty interesting. We were also not far, maybe like a mile and a half away from a place. It was a church that was used for underground railroads back in the day, and all the females that would come there, the priest would actually try to keep them, away from anybody else. Well, the town ended up finding out like back in the day, and they ended up burning the church with the people in it. So I lived maybe like a mile from that. So there was all activity that was related to that church also going on, like in the area where I was living.
Was this in Florida?
No, this is here in New Jersey, South Jersey.
It sounded like a road situation in that in Florida.
But it was definitely interesting. And then from that moving forward, I ended up, like I said, getting hooked into it and trying to find out more and learn more from it. And I mean, till this day, I know about the same amount of stuff that I knew when I first started, because it's always, you never get an answer from anything. You're just getting more questions than answers, really.
Yeah. And, recently it's funny about Native American land, because Sean was doing some research, and I remember I was asleep one night and he woke me up. Courtney, you got to wake up, man. I just figured this out. I said, what? He said that he actually went down the rabbit hole of Native American land and found that, like pre-Civil War and stuff like that, obviously, like way back, they would cut themselves with like quartz stone and let their blood like seep into the ground. And they believed that it created, like, for those gamers out there, like a respawn point. Okay. So like when their actual physical being died, their soul would respawn wherever their blood seeped into the ground. And they would bury the quartz after they cut themselves with it, right where they wanted to, quote unquote, come back. So now this rabbit hole that you went down was
Gettysburg.
Pertaining to Gettysburg. He found that this happens, all over Gettysburg, all over the battlefield, everywhere. Well, the whole town is a battlefield. But so I'm wondering if that wasn't like
everywhere.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why so many locations that are built on top of Native American, burial grounds or land or whatever have that amount of activity, so to speak.
Right. I'll tell you, talking about Native American stuff, actually in that same house is where like all of my Native American like experiences came from also. I'll tell you one I told it in the last podcast I was on, and I usually don't tell the story because it's just so out of like whack. Like I honestly like I was scared talking about it initially.
We like out of whack.
This one was pretty interesting. It's in the same house, same area. I had 15 acres to the back of the property, all woods. Like I basically just sat literally in the woods, which I like. The back of my house, like probably like 500 feet from the back of the house, there was like a big divot on the ground that kind of went along all of the houses that were there. I come to find out that was used back in the day for Native Americans as like a water source. So there was a lake down further down the road. I guess they used and like redirected the water all through that so they can get water back in the day. I was a big bass fisherman at the time. I loved going out bass fishing. I was bringing my boat back to the house. I backed it in. Like I told you, I had a German Shepherd. His name was Trigger. He was a brown and black German Shepherd, right? So I backed the boat up. I'm getting ready to wash the boat. I'm washing the boat. So I'm like kind of hunched over on the front of the boat, kind of like, washing the front of it. And out of the corner of my eye, I see what I thought was Trigger in the woods, just running through the woods. I'm like, Trigger, get your ass in here. Like, come back. So I start yelling at him. And I'd go back to washing the boat because usually when I yelled at him, he would come back. Well, now I see him coming back. And I'm like, all right, cool. He's coming back. So I go back to washing the boat, and out of nowhere, like I looked up, and as soon as I looked up, I see this legitimate, like big old, like Native American male sitting right in front of me, looked like a chief with the whole chief outfit. I can see like very descriptive, like leather skirt he had on, or whatever you want to call it. No shirt, had like different painting on him, had different necklaces on, and at this point, I'm frozen. I'm like halfway, like cleaning the boat and looking up at this thing. It's like standing over me. I'm like, what the hell am I looking at? As I'm staring at it, it does like an about face, starts walking back towards the wood without saying any words, without saying anything, walks back towards the woods. As it's walking back towards the wood, it completely shifts into a dog and goes back and disappears into the woods.
Shapeshifters.
Ever since that day, I was like, what the hell was that? So I had a buddy of mine at the time he was a Native American as well. He was in the same tribe that was in the tribe in that area. Like his parents were real big into it. He's passed away since. So he starts telling me the story. He says, dude, like what you saw, not many people get to see. It's things that we hear about, like in our stories and our Native American like people. He said basically he chose you to see him in that form. So therefore you have to make some sort of gift. You got to give him something back. Right. So he was telling me about like, making a gift by basically planting some sort of plant, like a fruit tree or something on the land. Yeah. To basically just saying that I acknowledge it and that I was very appreciative of it. So when I did that, ever since that day that I actually planted a fruit tree on my land at the time, ever since then, anytime I go to any paranormal investigation that has anything to do with Native Americans, I'll start hearing stuff in the house beforehand, not even like afterwards, beforehand. When I start driving to like different paranormal locations or something, like even when I'm at work, when there's like, I'm extremely like highly stressed, I'll either see a bald eagle or a red-tailed hawk flying around my truck or the car or whatever car I'm in. It happened when I was flying. When I fly planes also, like we would have bald eagle like flying alongside of us or around the plane, which would be pretty interesting. So I was talking to my friend at the time, who has since passed, and he was telling me that basically that is the highest level of protection that you can get from, Native Americans. The eagle is the highest level, and then I guess the second level is the red-tailed hawk. Which leads into recently, we're sitting here at the house, and a red-tailed hawk is literally just going around, like walking around on the ground in my neighbor's yard. I'm like, what the hell is going on with that? So usually, like they sit up high. They're never on the ground unless they're eating something. So I walk towards it. It goes away. It hides back into the woods. Next day, I go back out and I see him again in the woods. So I'm like, you know what? He's got to be hurt, whatever the case may be. I grab a net and I walk up to him and he just lets me catch him. Like I put the net right over him. I put him in a crate, bring him back to the house. I called the animal control people and have them like take him to a sanctuary. But they ended up having to put it down, unfortunately. But it was just cool that it would be right there trying to get my attention, just to, to do that and allow me
You
to do that.
killed your protector, Chris.
I know. I didn't do it. They did it.
Awful.
But, yeah, apparently he wasn't in good shape. He got hit by a car and had all sorts of like
Aw.
broken bones and all sorts of stuff.
Poor
And I guess
guy.
he wasn't eating, so they really couldn't do much for him, unfortunately.
Well, maybe like he passed on to like level up to the bald eagle.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But it was interesting. And that one story there, I usually don't tell anybody because it's so far-fetched. And in my mind, even though I did see it, even though I did witness it, like, it's hard as hell to believe it. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. Like,
We're in the
if you say to me,
paranormal.
like,
Nothing is far-fetched. Nothing.
yeah, but it was very interesting. Like I said, I mean, I really don't tell that story a lot because it's just my own personal experience. I can't prove it. But it definitely happened. It was just, it was interesting, just to say the least.
Everything in the paranormal world's far-fetched.
Right.
I mean, everything from EVPs to everything we experience. So this is your safe place.
Yeah.
Ronnie Anderson, Bedford Paranormal. What's up? We got Chuck and Carrie, 2 other team members from our team here at
What's up, y'all?
HCP, Hill City Paranormal.
Howdy.
Ryan Jones, ASPS / Frickin' Awesome Paranormal Show.
/
Riff Nation Network.
There you go.
All right. Who else we got? Lois. Hi, honey.
Lois Clark.
And then, of course, Victor acknowledged himself earlier, but we're going to say hello to Chris's nephew, Victor.
What's up, Victor?
And then
Thanks for
Dennis
tuning in.
just popped in.
What's up, Dennis?
Dennis
I'm
Sassoon. Have you guys ever met Dennis Sassoon? Or
No.
not?
I have not.
He's got a beer and he's cheersing, so I'm friends already.
That's right.
He is the naked investigator when I call him.
The naked.
The
Oh, he's the one. I have questions, Dennis. I need to know why you are called the naked investigator. Inquiring women want to know. You actually investigate naked?
It has to do with him at Shanley Hotel.
Were you running around naked? I need the story. We're gonna have to get you on the show.
Last time I did that, they tried to arrest me.
You did get told to get back in your hotel room. Sam from Wyoming. Hey, Sam.
What's up, Sam?
All right, guys. So we've been kind of yapping, but I'm really interested in that story that you just told. To be honest with you,
yeah, I was actually.
I'm gonna go down the
sitting
rabbit
kind of
hole.
like on the edge of my seat, like, tell me more. Keep going.
Dennis, shoot me an email, hillcityghosts, plural, @gmail.com. I'd love to have you on the show.
Yeah, we like stories over here.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy, man. He'll tell you stories for days.
I'm telling you, women want to know, do you investigate naked? Okay, I want to know. I need to know. All right. So, guys, we've got some evidence. Actually, I'm going to let Chris walk you into what we're going to share. I'm going to let Chris kind of.
I think we both got videos.
Yeah. Like, we've got so much stuff. What do we.
And Chris, I even got some stuff that you don't know I have that you got as far as evidence goes.
That's
you
awesome.
Hear that, Chris?
Can't wait to hear it.
He's trying to tell you, I got shit you don't got.
Yeah, I like it.
What is you?
I like it. Is it because I'm Spanish? Is that what it is?
Wait a minute. For those that don't know, hey, Central Virginia.
What's up, Central Virginia?
For those that don't know, I was raised by a man who was born, bred, and raised in El Salvador.
Shout out Oscar De Leon.
I, to this day, know poquito Espanol. I still say this completely white. And he laughs at me because he drilled me my whole life. Now, you cannot talk shit about me in Spanish because I can tell you exactly what you're saying, but I cannot speak the shit. I don't know what happened. There was a flaw in the system.
That's the thing. A lot of people know how to, like, they understand a certain language, but they can't speak it.
I can understand it.
See, I can speak
I cannot speak
I can speak it, read it, and write it.
Yeah. So I can't write it. I can spell. I can spell most of Spanish words. Most.
Most.
I know how to call you a
that's
puto.
where I'm lacking.
Didn't you call somebody gay in Spanish on a video game?
Yeah. When I play Call of Duty.
I'm surprised.
When I play, I'm brutal. I'm brutal on Call of Duty, man, when I'm talking trash.
What Sam said, I ran into the elevator door trying to watch and listen to y'all.
Sam, don't be doing that now. Don't be running to the
Sam's gonna get in trouble at work on her phone watching our podcast. Okay, all right. So, what do you guys want to share first? Like, talk to me.
Yeah, who wants to go first? Are we rock paper scissors in this? Like, what we?
All right, ready? Go. Rock paper scissors. Ready?
I never win at this.
Come on, Chris. We got to rock paper scissors.
I gave you my stuff. I don't really have anything in my hand, but
shit.
We
win.
All right, so you want to start
by default.
Spell English. I can't speak English very well. Lord, Ronnie's always picking. You know what, Ronnie? What is today? Tuesday? 3 days, buddy. 3 days. All right. What do you want to share, Sean? Where's it at? What you got for me?
You guys want to talk about the 11-year-old kid?
Yeah, actually, you talk about it, and I'll share the video.
Actually, one of the coolest things that happened was, I guess we'll start with when we investigated together. We were at Old City Cemetery here in Lynchburg. That's when we first met, and we were doing that light experiment. I don't have this on video.
This sounds romantic.
We were doing the light. We were talking about lights, and we don't have this on video, but it was really cool when you set the green light in the middle of the Confederate section.
Thank you, Central Virginia.
And
actually, if you give me a minute, I might be able to pull it up, and send it to you real fast.
That's fine if you can find it.
Yeah, I might be able to find it.
I didn't even know if you caught it or not, but you set the green light in the middle of the cemetery, and Courtney, Sean, and Naya were on one end of the cemetery, and you and I were on the other end, and something completely just walked through the light, and nobody was there to do that. No animal was there, nothing. I thought that was pretty cool. But then, we were in the museum prior to that, and the times we've investigated that museum, we've always got kid energy in there, and we've got several teams who picked up on a child in there. And, I'm going to tell you what, prior to this actually after this investigation, I went to the museum and told them about what happened. I talked to the director, I talked to the staff, and told them everything that we discovered in there. And he kind of looked at me and was like, let me go get the historian. And she said that she's picked up on kid energy in there. Like, she always felt like a kid was in there. Several of the staff picked up on a kid in there.
But we've only seen a young woman.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Which we kept seeing that night out of the corner of my eye, the one dressed in white.
You saw it, and so did Sean. That's right. I remember that.
Yep. I found a video of us putting.
And
the
then
light
you got
on,
your shirt.
What's that?
That was my very quick. That was my very quick to James Brady. You're not catching a bat and sending it home with me. They have diseases, and then they could turn you into a vampire. Actually, and I, like to sleep.
You're right. I had the video of us doing the experiment, but I don't have the video of the actual. So I think when it happened, I was facing myself instead of facing the actual light. Save video as a new clip. Boom. What I'll do is I'll send it over to you. If we don't play it now, we can play it some other time. Just post it on your end and see if you guys.
Okay, so what video do you want to show first?
So pull up.
Is it here?
It's in the.
Sean did all this, you guys. I'm so proud.
Oh my God! So go to.
I'm in. Okay. Oh, look right here.
Sean, you want to explain a little bit about the experiment too, like the light experiment we're talking about?
Did you send the light one over, or am I going to the bin one?
No, I didn't send the light one over.
Okay.
I can send.
So the light experiment we're talking about at Old City, we have basically.
Hey, Crystal.
The spirits there react to red lights and green lights, and I was explaining that to Chris, and Chris was like, "Again, I can investigate with Chris anytime." He was immediately receptive to let's try the lights then, and so he put out a red light, and immediately after put on a red light. When most people tell me they have an experience while investigating, the first thing I do is I look at their face and I look at their reaction. And the first thing he did was walk through the door and jump as if something grabbed him. and he looked straight at Courtney. That was his first reaction. Now, when most people jump, they look to see what the first thing it could have been that did it, which would have been Courtney to grab him. So he looks at Courtney, he looks at me, and he says, "Dude, something just grabbed me." And I was like,
I didn't grab you.
I was like, "Nobody touched you." He's like, "Something just grabbed me." Now, again, that's a common thing that happens in the museums, that people say something touched them. Estes method during our Publix, people are always saying that something has grabbed them. So Chris said that happened with the red light. That happens. That's a common thing. We investigated with the red light. Everyone got weird vibes and weird energy.
Yes.
Me for the first time. If you've investigated with me before, you know that I'm pretty chill during investigations. I dip just because I've got ADD and I'd be doing multiple things at one time. I was relaxed. All of a sudden, I got anxious and felt like I had to get up and move and run around the museum. And then it went from me to Courtney and then Sean Austin got so upset and angry and anxious that he had to actually exit the museum. That he did not come back.
The second person to exit the whole building.
Then all of a sudden, Chris started getting anxious, but the energy literally went from person to person around the museum. So we switched to a green light, and then all of a sudden, all of our energy just kind of mellowed out and calmed down. And Chris had set up a flashlight that did not cut on at all. It didn't.
Like we thought something was wrong.
We thought something was wrong. Like maybe he just didn't have it.
We're like sitting there. We're like,
yeah,
hello.
Until we did an EVP session where on the EVP, we got on 2 different recorders the name Ben. And at that point, where we got the name Ben on 2 different recorders, the flashlight pops on. And when the flashlight pops on, we're like, okay. And then Naya remembered that we've got the name Ben before on either other EVPs, other spirit box sessions, whatever have you. After that, Chris decides to do an experiment with the flashlight, which was very remarkable. And that's what we're going to show video evidence of here in a second. I wanted to explain it before we showed it. Now, with the flashlight experiment, and what you're going to see here shortly, I'm not a huge fan of this flashlight. However, after this investigation, I was like, okay, there's something. This was the most intelligent I've seen a flashlight. So you can pull up the video.
All right. So is it this one?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Chris.
Just to backtrack on that a little bit. So before we got the name, we were actually talking to whatever was there, which at the time we knew was possibly a child. At this point, I think we had gotten 2 responses to the age of the child back to back. And then once we got the age was when I basically asked for the child to explain to him what a recorder was, had him come over and tell us his name. And on both recorders, we got I am Ben. I think mine says I am Ben, and I think yours was I'm Ben or something like that along those lines, which that's kind of going back to what you were saying at that point.
Yeah.
But it was just interesting because we had the lighting first and then the name responding to what we were asking it to do, which was cool.
All right. So let's pull it. So is it this big video here?
Yep.
Okay, hold on. And where am I starting at?
25. We're going to end at 3:09.
All right. What's going on here?
I have no idea.
Why is it not going? Where am I going? Right here?
Yeah.
Okay, now where?
At the very end over here.
Right here? One. Okay, so I'm going to start. Let me share my screen.
Right there. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Presents a video file. Actually, I'm just going to do share screen, okay? And then we're going to share this. All right, guys, here we go. Share.
You guys see that?
Yeah, I can see it on my end.
Okay.
Now it won't play.
What was that? You good? No. Right next to him.
It was a whistle. I did hear a whistle.
Yeah, I heard the whistle before you look. I heard the whistle before
we all
you.
looked away.
So let me ask you this: Are you a little boy? Yes. Look at that. You see how bright?
That's the brightest it's been.
Okay, turn it off for your little boy. Okay, just turn it off completely. Completely off.
Please.
Thank you. So, how old are you? When I get to your age, I want to count. When I get to your age, I want you to turn that light on. Okay? Turn it on, just letting me know that you know that.
Like that, just floating.
Like that? Dude, that seems like that. It's all over, probably.
It went that way.
Yeah.
Don, I want to see you, Don.
I saw that. It was fast. It was like.
Okay, ready, peek out.
Oh, okay, thank you. So you're understanding. All right, turn it off, please. Thank you. All right, let's count. I'm going to count, and you're going to turn it on as soon as I get to your number. Okay, turn it off for me. Thank you. Can you please turn it off? Then I'll start counting.
He's like, ooh, a light.
Please. All the way off. Thank you. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wow. Okay.
How many times have we heard about 11-year-old teenager?
So turn it on right in the middle of like 11 and 12. Can you turn it off for me again, please?
We're delighted you're here.
Please, all the way off. I'm gonna do it again. And I want you to turn on that number, okay? So I'm gonna count again, and then we'll try to see if we can get the same number. All right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. What do y'all think in the comments?
Notice the light cut back off after you said 11 on its own.
So, and just to explain a little bit on that too, the reason we did it twice was because the first response was right in between the 11 and 12, and we couldn't determine whether or not it was trying to say 11 or if it was trying to say 12. So I decided to do it again one more time to try to see if we can get a clearer response, because I was right in the middle of counting from 11 to 12 when the light came on. So once we did it again, it came back on at 11, which was kind of what I was leaning with the first time, which is why I wanted to do it again to try to see if we could make it a little clearer, and which we did. Which
Yes.
At that point, I mean, that whole experience there was just very cool, because it was just, you can tell it was like intelligent. It was definitely interacting. It was definitely talking to you, and it was definitely using the devices that we had to its advantage as we taught it how to use it, I think, which was cool.
Yeah, there was several things with that that I would like to point out. The biggest thing with me was that flashlight did not cut on the entire time we were sitting there prior to you giving it instructions with the flashlight. I do know that the biggest theory is it heats up and it will expand and shrink. I get that. However, it was directly responding to your request. You would say every time you mentioned turning it on, it cut on. When you asked it to cut off, it cut off and stayed off, and it stayed off for the count. And then when you hit the 11 the second time, after giving it instructions on what you wanted to do, it cut back off on its own and stayed off after that until you mentioned cutting it back on. And so the second part of this.
Hold on. I got a quick question really quick. Please help us settle a debate. Was that my mag light that we were using on the mantle, or was that yours?
That was his.
That was mine.
Okay. All right. I couldn't remember. I remember setting a flashlight, so I must have just set yours.
Yeah, you took. So we had it first by the door, and I think you picked it up and you said, "Let's put it over here to see if it works better."
I just be snatching equipment, no respect.
Listen, it's your place. I mean, you know your place better than mine. That's why I'm going there.
Well, the reason why she moved it was because on that mantle is where we get a lot of K2 activity.
Yeah, there's a lot
of REM pod activity right there. It's right by that clock. Those of you don't know the ticking sound, it's a clock that's a wind up clock that ticks.
So the crazy thing is, too, that I want to point out as well. So Sean and I actually went back the next day and that clock was not on. Like it was not ticking. And I was like, what the heck? And then it was like, I think we went back a couple days later and it was ticking again. So that's like up, I don't know.
Oh, I found out why.
This is
Jay
here
told
in
me
Lynchburg.
that they have to wind it up weekly.
Gotcha. Weekly.
Yeah.
Okay.
They wind it up every Wednesday, I think. And sometimes
during the middle of our investigation, I don't know if you remember, at one point while we were doing the investigation, the actual clock started ticking quicker as a response to what we were asking.
I remember that.
And then it just went back to ticking normal, which, I mean, I can't explain that. Yeah. So, Sean, I sent you a message on here, too. I found...
Okay. I'm looking at this video.
I'm trying to send it to you, but for whatever reason, it's not.
I was going to say, if you send it via email, I can just screen share like from the email. Ronnie, the flashlight method is give or take, but when you have clear responses multiple times, it's hard not to make it valid. Props to verifying the response. Awesome. Holy crap. Ronnie gave a compliment.
I know Ronnie gave now, if Ronnie gives you a compliment, you might as well just...
Lord?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me make sure it's not snowing.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, Ron.
I will say that's one thing that Chris does do is like if something happens, he will go and verify it. That's one props to Chris for doing that.
And for those that don't know, we give Ronnie Anderson with Bedford Paranormal a lot of shit. But when we have evidence videos, he's one of our go-tos. Like, hey, can you validate this? Like, we're thinking it's this. Like, can you take a look at this? Like, let me know if I'm tripping, right? So, Ronnie, much respect to you for sure. But going forward, so after that is when Chris and Sean are trying to get to the bottom of like of who we're communicating with. Now we've established that it's an 11-year-old. We were getting male energy, but obviously that wasn't set in stone. Okay. So
it almost became a game to us.
Yeah. So now we went down like the whole.
You got intense.
Yeah, it did. So Ronnie, you're not an asshole. You're the asshole.
We love you, Ronnie.
All right. Let me go back to sharing my screen over here. And Sean, you said 7 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna play.
I don't know if y'all are gonna be able to hear this EVP that well, so you have to listen very close. You might want to cut whatever you're listening to up to hear it.
I'll give everybody a second to cut your volume up. Put your AirPods in. Do whatever you got to do.
Of course, I can hear it a lot better on my recorder than I could, but
we're gonna roll.
All right, TikTok.
Oh,
I got Ben.
Yeah, Ben. My name's Ben.
My name's Ben.
My name's Ben.
Now, does this keep going? So we can. Okay. So So Chris doesn't play his.
He did, but I forgot why. It's like you can hear it prior to that.
Yeah.
But it's not as clear.
Okay. And then you got something else on here. What is this?
Go to 905. I think that's when Chris caught something else. I did a bad job of marking that one.
I sent you guys that video on Facebook.
Okay.
I cut it down to the actual
All
spot.
right. Can you cut that light on the mantle line? Oh, I can read you.
That's probably what the hell did you just say?
And so you're 11, correct?
Bam. And guys,
So
there
what I'm
is the validation. Okay. Right there. So not only did he count once, count twice, but then he goes back several minutes later. You're talking, so 6 minutes later to the T, he asks, so you're 11 correct? And the flashlight pops on again.
But Chris did that several
And
times.
Ronnie caught it. It was a quick
Yeah,
bet.
Ronnie caught it. Yeah, so Chris actually caught Ben on his recorder too, but it was really quick. Mine, you can actually hear him say, "My name is." Chris actually caught it before I did. I had to listen to it a couple times, but you hear him say, "My name is," and then I heard the Ben, but Chris caught "My name is." I heard it after hearing it a couple times. I did catch that, but we caught that on two separate recorders. He's using a completely different recorder than I was, and then when Chris mentioned, "So you're 11, correct?" That flashlight was not cutting on and off randomly. It only cut on when Chris asked a question. And again, I know the science behind the flashlight theory. I know the heating, I know all the science behind that. And again, I will repeat this again. I'm not a fan of the flashlight thing. I'm not. However, it's kind of, I'm not a coincidental guy either. If the flashlight was off most of the time until Chris was asking direct questions and it's responding, even the part that I didn't show because the video is 10 minutes long, Chris was literally talking and giving straight direction, saying, during the EVP session, he was saying, "Hey, I'm going to have a box that you can speak to. When you're done, go and cut the flashlight back on." And then the flashlight would cut off while we were holding the recorder, and then go cut back on. And he was like, it was just the way it was responding. I didn't have an answer for that.
It was very
Chris,
intelligent.
did you send it to my Facebook or Sean's?
I sent it to Sean's. I can send it to yours if you want me to.
I was going to say, can you forward it to me? Because I'm actually logged into mine.
Yeah, sure. Let me see.
This is something we definitely aren't used to doing, is sharing evidence.
So James said names are always hard to get. That was amazing to have on multiple devices. Ronnie said, and who is Ben? Do you guys know anything about a Ben? Ronnie, I did extensive research. I could not find.
Actually, you did find.
Hold on. I could not find a specific 11-year-old named Ben that was buried there. But what I did find was an unknown 11-year-old male.
You did find an 11-year-old Ben that died in the 1800s.
I don't think so. If I did, I don't remember.
What was interesting too was the direct response that were coming through. They were very intelligent. And I honestly had no explanation for it. And in regards to the flashlight, one thing that I didn't tell you guys is that the actual tip of the flashlight, I don't turn it to where it's getting ready to actually come on. I actually give it a good amount of room before to kind of make it harder for it to turn on. And that was kind of like my validation for it, which is why when we had it by the door and had it on the mantle for a little while, it never came on, because it's honestly, I barely ever get anything from it. And when I do, it's kind of interesting and validation because of the way that I do it. Like I don't turn it to where if you tap it or whatever the case may be, it comes on. Like it actually takes a little bit for it to actually turn on.
Okay. So I got your video. I've got it queued up. What are we going to be looking at here?
So I think let me look at the time frame here. So this is what Sean was talking about at the beginning with the light that came up from behind the green light. There's a white light that appears, and I'm looking at it now, and the way it looks like you can actually see like feet, like somebody's feet in between those lights, which is interesting.
Okay.
At first I thought it was Sean, but Sean wasn't actually the other Sean. He actually wasn't in that
video.
I think it's right about.
All right, I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, I want to say it's about 44 seconds or 57 seconds in, or 56. Start at 54 seconds. Give it a little bit so everybody can see everything, and then let it play. It'll happen like almost right there, right behind the green light.
Oop, I went too far. Hide.
All good.
All right, 53.
Okay, play from there. It'll be there. It is right there.
Let me go back.
So
I missed it.
Yep. So I actually did capture it, Sean, but I'm looking at it on my phone. You can actually see like feet behind it.
Did I miss it again?
Yeah, you're too far ahead. It's got to be played like you can play it at 52 maybe. Give it a little more time. And just so you guys have, I know it's a little hard to see on here because it's kind of showing kind of small because of the screen.
Yeah.
But just so you guys are aware, like that light, that green light was actually set on the ground. It wasn't up high. It wasn't anywhere. It's like
Oh, I
maybe
saw it.
like
Yeah, I saw it. It's hard to see on this camera view right here.
Yeah. And we can post it on our pages or whatever the case may be. But you can actually show, like, if you play it on your phone, like, and you look at it and you zoom into where the light's coming in from, you can actually see like feet, like literally walking, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I'll share it to the page, guys. All right. And then, Sean, you've got a few more things, right?
Yeah. So here's what you did. I did not send you. If you go to green or red right here.
Okay. I'm actually going to present and I'm going to share.
So you asked, I believe, I haven't listened to it in a while, but if you asked, do you want the green light or red light? And you'll hear a voice whisper green, I believe.
Is it a video file, maybe?
It might be.
Of course not. Okay, I'm just going to have to share my screen, I guess, again. It won't let me do like an image file or, I mean, an actual file. Okay, share screen. Let's go here. Share. All right. Wait,
Go
stop
greener.
sharing. Hold on. Guys, I'm an idiot with a computer. All right, share. There. All right, so here.
Would you rather have green or red?
You guys hear that? I'm playing it one more time.
Would you rather have green or red? Would you rather have green or red?
I hear from what I'm hearing is when I say green or red, it sounds like it's repeating back green or red, and then I want green. But if you listen to the beginning part of it, it's repeating what I'm saying. It's saying green or red. At least what I'm hearing. I mean, I got the AirPods in too.
So I hear a whisper at the very end, like you say, do you want red or green? And then there's like some random noises, right? And then at the very end, it goes green.
Yeah. So like at the beginning, there's
You
random
AirPods in, so it may be like.
You can hear what we can't hear.
What did you guys
so,
hear? Let me know in the comments.
So the noises that I hear, like what you're saying, the noises, they're actually, I'm hearing words. So those noises are actually like to me, they're words. They're just saying green or red, and then it says I want. And then you hear green.
Green or red?
You know what, Sean? It says red or green.
I'm gonna have to put my headphones.
Did you guys hear it when I played that just now?
I heard.
No? Okay.
I heard it on my end.
Okay, I was just curious because I'm not sharing my screen. I just played it on the computer.
Somebody said they can't tell what Yvette says. She can't tell what.
Can't tell what it's saying. It is kind of hard. Like
It's hard because there's a clock ticking in the background.
all right, Leah says I hear green.
Play it one more time.
Would you rather have green or red?
Red, green. It's like a harder voice. So like there's like a soft whisper like red, and then it comes
I did
in
hear
hard
the soft
green.
whisper. Yeah.
Ronnie heard green at the end.
That's what I heard, green at the end. But when you played it back just now, I did hear.
Yeah, I'm like hearing things each time, which is crazy. Michelle said she thinks she heard that too. Okay, so that was one of the EVPs that. Who captured that? You or
that came from my recorder.
All right,
and so the other one, you're going to have to listen very carefully. But while you're talking, Chris, at the very end of the EVP, you'll hear a little boy's voice. And what it's saying, I can't quite make it out, but you'll hear while you're talking, and it's going to be hard to hear because that damn clock is ticking while you're talking. You're going to hear an actual voice of a little boy at the end of it. You can play that. Denzel.
Are you here?
Are you here? I think that's what it says. Are you here?
I hear "Are you here" at the end. Yeah.
Are you here?
I think that's what it says. Is, are you here?
Yeah, it sounds very whispery too.
For those that don't know, yes, Naya was with us. Yes, she is 16-year-old female, but Naya has a voice that's more deeper on the like scale, right? So like this was an actual like small child's voice, like not like Naya sounds grown. I sound grown, you sound grown, Chris sounds grown. Like this was like not.
Well, when I caught that EVP, I told everybody that I caught a kid's voice and I got really excited, but nobody could hear it. But when I got it on Audacity, I was able to pull it out a little bit better. But that's the voice I was telling you about, Chris.
That's pretty cool. That's good catch.
And everybody hears it. So James said he hears "I'm here." Yvette says "Are you here?" And Michelle said "Are you here?"
But that was wild. When we caught that voice, I got really excited and started running around the room, like putting my nobody. I don't hear that. But when I got home and got on Audacity, that's when I was able to pull that voice forward more. And the crazy part about that was my name is Ben, and we got the flashlight activity, and then we get that little boy. That's clearly a kid.
Well, flashlight activity. Then my name is Ben. Then more flashlight activity. Then red or green.
Then we get the kid's voice.
Are you here?
That just completely goes with everything that we got.
Ronnie said he hears "I'm here."
Yeah, and I think like everything.
Here, are you here? Yeah.
Everything combined, even from the beginning, like when we were doing the red light experiment, like how everything was amping up, like it was more of a touchy feeling. Like I don't know. I definitely do think that the lights do affect the investigations, and I'd like to experiment more with that. Like I was telling you, Sean, I'd like to experiment with fog. I've had a couple experiences with fog where I was live. It was a tunnel in PA. It was a Pennsylvania Railroad Portage Tunnel, I believe is what it was called. And we got there like pretty late at night. We were experiencing the fog coming out, and then me being me, I was like, oh, I wonder if the fog can go back in on command. So I started asking whatever was there to bring the fog back in. And literally, you saw the fog being brought back in. When we went in deeper, I asked for the fog to come back out. As the fog was coming back out, I took a flashlight and actually started running it like back and forth between the fog. And I was live at the time this happened. I asked for whatever was there to kind of show itself. And like you see the fog literally like turning into what looked like a body. And a lot of the people that were watching live were able to take screenshots of it and send it to me, which at the time I saw also. But
that's
I played
cool.
the video back. The video obviously froze right when all of that happened, which was kind of sucked. But Paul was one of the guys that watches my live all the time. He took screenshots and was able to actually send it to my Instagram account through the messenger, which is cool. Like it was neat just to be able to experience that and then have proof of that happening. I like to experiment with that more too, like lights and the fog, because that's something that not many people do.
The next time we investigate together, we're gonna do it. The one thing that we did try. Could you hear the child's tone in the last? Yeah, it was almost like it was asking us. Some people say "I'm here" or "Are you here?" It was almost like we were quiet waiting on the EVP, and it was almost asking us, "Are y'all still here?" kind of thing. Or
well, I think at that point when you captured that EVP, I think we kind of had stopped like communicating like actively. We were getting ready to pack up and go to another location. And I
We
think
want
we
to find
did.
Sean.
Yeah, I think we
We
did
wanna
like
check on
one
Sean.
more EVP session, and that's what we got. So it's almost like, and it always breaks my heart whenever I'm investigating, right? And then we are doing EVPs, and then we get home later and play them, and I'm like, damn, if I had heard that in real time, I could have capitalized, like,
Yeah.
you know.
And that's why, like, I'm a big fan of doing those quick, like, EVP bursts of, like, recordings, because you can actually listen to it on location and try to learn more from it by listening to it live and
Yeah.
trying to use that as the investigation portion of everything. And I mean, ever since I started doing that, it seems to kind of help with the activity and you learning about whatever's there.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And like it does get annoying to some people, but guys, there's like when you're trying to piece together a puzzle, you have to do that. Otherwise, you're just going to be like, did you die? Like, are you dead? Like, whatever. And then you just take that all home, and that's not effective communication.
No.
Time sounded like an 11-year-old boy on my device. Would like to listen through my earphones. Okay, Ronnie, I can send it to you. Well, Sean can send it to you.
We can post it. We don't normally share evidence, but we can post the soundbite on our page and let everybody click on it and hear what we heard in real time. But the crazy part is that investigation, and I told the director of the cemetery, that was the most like intense investigation that we've had at that cemetery, because it was like literally answering everything, and then to get those EVPs to go with everything that was happening. Most times we investigate, you'll get evidence and you'll get things happening, but that was, to me, people ask me all the time, how do you know you're getting real evidence? And I'm like, I don't really have a clear answer, because you don't know if it is real evidence. You get equipment going off, you get stuff happening, but to me, that is clear evidence,
But to find real evidence, like I think that's like person specific. You know what I'm saying? Because like what I'm feeling might not be what Chris is feeling, might not be what Sean is feeling, but like who are you guys to tell me that what I'm feeling isn't real?
But think about
what I'm saying?
But we all had a feeling that day that, again, if you've investigated with me, and a few people in this chat have and can confirm this, I'm a chill, laid back investigator. I don't, not much.
With who?
With everybody. I don't get anxious and feel like I don't get up and run anywhere or do anything. I just kind of sit back and investigate. And I felt like I needed to get up and move around and walk around, and got real anxious. And then not only did I feel that, you felt that. You're a pretty chill investigator.
So I didn't actually feel that. Like the crazy thing is like the best way that I can describe it, and I described this that night, was, have you guys ever, let me know in the comments, or Chris, you can answer this, Sean, you can answer this, but like, has anything ever scared you and you kind of get that like upset stomach, like that genuine fear, like something really scared you and you get the almost, I don't know if it's like butterflies in your stomach or that like weird stomach tingling.
Stomach feeling.
Yeah. And so then your heart starts racing. So that night I had my Samsung watch on, and I remember checking my heart rate, and my resting heart rate, guys, is a little bit high anyway, because I've got ADHD and I'm all over the place. But I typically stay right between like 78 to like 88. Well, when I was telling them in the museum that my heart is racing and I feel sick, like I felt nervous, I felt scared or something, I looked down, I measured my heart rate, and it was 113. That is resting. I was sitting at a desk, not up and walking around, had not moved for an extended period of time. So there was a weird, it was weird. That's the best way. Ronnie said not scared, but startled to the point I almost pissed myself. Lord, I think we've all been there. Yeah, I didn't almost pee myself, but I'll go back to that story at Rainworth when that kid jumped on the sofa. Y'all have heard that story. I didn't know what the hell jumped on the sofa next to me. I just know that the whole sofa moved. I'm a big girl, y'all. For something to jump on the sofa and move it physically, I don't know what the hell just sat next to me. I didn't know what to do. I offered it popcorn. Like, I didn't know what to do. Something.
I had a similar experience when I ran. Not proud of that one, but I'll
Oh yeah, tell us about that. I remember you talking about that before. Didn't you have a video of that?
I do. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, convenient, Chris.
Yeah, conveniently couldn't find that one.
And Emily. Yeah,
West Virginia State Penitentiary. We were with Sean Austin and a couple of my other friends, and we were listening. We were hearing like whispers, like it sounded like it was coming from the infirmary area. And Sean, I don't know if you guys ever been there. You know how like where the nurse's office and all that downstairs is, where like
I haven't been there.
No, okay. So there's a certain section where like the actual walkway becomes a Y. If you keep going straight, you go directly into like where the cafeteria area is and all that good stuff. But we were walking in pitch black, couldn't see anything. I had my night vision camera, so Sean was in front of us. He ends up walking towards the cafeteria area. Myself and who was it? Melissa Keller. She was behind me. And we started hearing what we thought was whispers. We heard somebody talking, like coming from a different area where Sean was walking to, which was the infirmary area. So me and her decided, sure, let's go follow the whispers and see what we can hear.
Yeah.
We get all the way up to this one area, like, and I honestly have no idea where I was at. I just know that the actual floor like divot upwards, like it had a little like, like just kind of went up. I felt my foot touch that, so I stopped, and the whisper stops. So we're both just sitting there trying to see if we can hear it again. And out of nowhere, like we're pitch black, like that feeling you're talking about, I started getting right before I feel somebody coming up to my shoulder and just whispering like, hey, like a whispery, hey, breathy, hey, right in my ear, followed by a loud, like metal clashing. It sounded like a cell door just slammed shut as loud as it could. It echoed through the whole hallway. Well, anyways, it was fight or flight. I chose to flight. I pushed Melissa out of the way, went over her, ran all the way out. Ran all the way out, and as soon as I get back out to where we walked in from, I'm like, oh shit, I left Melissa behind. So I had to do the walk of shame, walk back, come pick her up. She was cussing me out. It was great. It was great.
So check out Ronnie's comment.
West Virginia is where I started on Whisper. exact place where you're talking about. Yeah, that place is insane, but it was weird. It separated me and her from the group, and all of that just happened right afterwards.
You separated yourself from her.
Well, I mean, yeah, at that point. She didn't experience what I experienced, though. She didn't experience the whispery hey on your ear.
Remind me never to be around you if this happens. Like, if somebody's attacking us, remind me not to be around you, because you're going to leave me to get attacked.
Since 2017, it's only happened twice.
Same thing happened to me, I swear. Hand on the Bible, Ronnie said.
That's
so,
awesome.
Ronnie, in the comments, same thing. You're saying you heard that breathy hey? That's man. Look.
Oh, we got to go.
I'll play with spirits all day long, but you ain't going to come up whispering sweet nothings in my ear.
I'll tell you another cool story from there, too. Sean was live. He was live on TikTok. And we went to one of the cell, and he sat inside the cell, and he was doing an EVP session. And literally, like, I swear to God, it was the coolest thing ever. Whatever spirit was there was up with its time and knew what TikTok was and knew that he was live streaming. And said he was live streaming and said he was live streaming on TikTok. It was crazy. If I wasn't there, I wouldn't believe it. But he definitely played it back and it said, it was like almost telling the other people to shush. He's live streaming on TikTok. It was
hell
neat.
yeah, that's my kind of ghost right there. I don't think these spirits are silly. No, they got accounts too. They're lurking. The ghosts
awesome.
of TikTok.
I mean, there's a lot of dead people that add me on Facebook still. I got a friend request from a dead friend today.
I mean, we communicated at the same cemetery. We communicated they had recently buried a young man that was shot and killed here. And we ended up getting things like like, yo, what up?
What's good?
Was good. Like, we were asking, like, how is it on the other side type deal? And he's like, what's good, fam? Like,
Type shit.
like, you're like, all right, that's what's up. Like, all right, cool. You want me to play some like, are you chilling with Dolph? Like, what's going on?
That's hilarious.
So, but yeah, I mean, crazy stories, guys. The fact is, you never know who you're going to come across in the paranormal field. I 10 out of 10 could investigate with Chris and Sean again.
Absolutely.
I do want to back it up, though, for a brief moment before we wrap this up about your guys' theory on lights. So y'all go hang me for this in the comments, but I'll throw myself under the bus quick, fast, and in a hurry. Prior to this show, I was watching Ghost Adventures. Okay. I watch it at this point for the entertainment value.
I watched it with you just because all the years I didn't watch it.
But I watched this episode is the first time out of all the years I've been watching Ghost Adventures, the first time that I watched them get hardcore evidence and then their equipment go off at the same time. So, like, for example, they caught on an infrared camera a shadow figure move across and it tripped a motion detector. So, like, at the same time the shadow figure was moving across, the motion detector started going wee, 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 or whatever noise it made, right? So I was like, okay, so that's honestly what drew my attention. I'm like, okay, all right, now what? And it's funny that you guys brought up lights because during this episode, Sean was preparing the clips for this show, and he said that he was utilizing a new piece of equipment to him in this episode called the Deadlight. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but basically it's a light that utilizes I'm going to get this all wrong, guys. It's a light that utilizes like the electromagnetic fields and like attracts spirits to the light, much like, and the example he used was bugs being attracted to like a bug zapper. And so he's like holding this light and he's like walking around. He's like, spirits, if you're in here, like come towards the light, right? So he does this. He walks like all around the room and then he like throws the light on the floor and picks up an infrared camera and starts like taking all these still shots. And I'm like, this clown, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is crazy. So right as he did that, whatever camera he was using showed the temperature on the bottom, and it was a consistent. For the first 10 photos, it was 75 degrees in the room. Consistent. And then the one photo that had some, as they described, ectoplasm or whatever, trying to manifest into a figure, dropped the temperature to 64 degrees in that picture. And then the very next photo was 75 degrees again. So I'm wondering if there is a certain, and how it appeared to me is that it was a purple light. It kind of looked like it resembled a black light in the show. So now it's making me wonder, like, is there something in the LED lights that we're using that attracts spirits from that realm? I don't know.
It's all electric too. Keep that in mind. You have all the batteries and everything that goes on with the light, which is actually causing, like, in my theory, like, I mean, it kind of feeds whatever's there,
I don't know.
Yeah, I was reading Ronnie's comment. That's insane. I'm glad somebody else had that experience. Like, honestly, like I've talked about it. Melissa was right next to me. She didn't hear the whisper because the whisper was literally like in my ear. And I actually felt the breath from it, followed by that loud bang.
First of all,
wow.
She heard the bang. She decided to stay there. I didn't.
That's because, all right, I'm going to explain on behalf of all women out there, okay? And Haunting Angels is in here. I think Lost Souls is in here. Emily, y'all can co-sign this. I think when guys get scared, you guys really do go into the fight or flight, and flight is your first response. Women freeze. Like, I don't know about y'all women that are in here too, but typically if something scares me, I kind of just freeze like, the fuck was that, right? And
y'all watch the horror movies?
I don't know. I'm 99.9%. No, I'm 99.9% positive that a serial killer is going to kill me if I was ever a star of a horror movie. I'm dying first. Okay, because I'm not running. I'm going to freeze. But I'm weird. I have weird responses. Like if I get hurt, what happens? I get pissed. Like if something could seriously hurt me and I'm mad about it. Okay, so Yvette says she freezes, but Sierra runs. So now we got 2 females.
Hey, we got to investigate with Haunted Angels one time.
We were supposed to stay.
We were, but we didn't want to intrude.
You know what? Come back to Virginia. Or you know what? We'll come down to you.
Yeah, we were supposed to collaborate with all these people this year and hadn't. We hadn't done it yet.
Life is lifing.
Yeah.
But Chris, 10 out of 10 would investigate with you guys again.
Definitely.
And
hopefully we'll make August work.
We
Chris.
have
Don't be trying
August.
to get-
Chuck is
down. You guys let me know.
Chuck is trying to fight everybody.
Yeah,
Chuck's
always trying to fight.
The angriest leprechaun I know.
Yeah, Chuck's always trying to fight.
But yeah,
just a quick story right before all that happened. Just so you guys can get the picture too. Right before the whisper thing happened, Sean and I had gone into the basement, like where the solitary confinement is at West Virginia State Penitentiary. That same night, we did go investigate the Bel Air house. So we go into the basement. Sean does an EVP session, and right through the EVP session, you get this evil, like movie style, like EVP coming through, like laughing. It was like an evil laugh, and then it said, "I'll see you at the Bel Air house." I was like, "Hell no, I'm not going there. I don't want to go there." It was just absolutely not. And then that's what followed the whole, door slamming. Not trying to make excuses for myself for running, but I was already on edge just because of that EVP. I was done.
Ronnie said the boiler room.
Yeah. That place. I would love to go back to that place. It was definitely awesome to investigate it. Long ride, but it was definitely cool.
Yeah.
But
I gotta go. West Virginia State Penn. We gotta go to Waverly Hills. There's so many places I gotta go, guys. So many places.
Yeah.
But we will be back with Chris and hopefully Sean in August. We'll be in Gettysburg, guys. As you guys know, we're here every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Chris, what is your socials so that all our people can go give you a like and a follow?
Sure. It's Supernatural Untold Stories on TikTok. I think it's Story on Instagram. But it's Supernatural Untold Stories on all platforms. So you can just look that up and it will come up. My face will be there. Also, if you guys haven't checked out, one thing we didn't talk about was the app also, SPI.
Yes.
Yes, please talk about that.
SPI is basically a new app that Sean developed and I helped with it. So we'll talk about that. Basically, it's just an app that basically, just to kind of narrow everything down, it just basically listens to the EVP sessions that you're currently doing. And just like now we're listening to these sessions, we're trying to determine what it says. The AI actually determines what it's hearing and will actually put it in words onto the app. I guess that's the quickest and easiest way to explain it. It's available on Apple App Store currently. Spirit Phone Innovations is the name. If you type SPI, it'll actually come up on there as well. So if you guys want to try using it, I know a lot of people are a little skeptical on apps, but we've definitely had some pretty cool and validating evidence coming through it. We usually recommend to actually use another device, such as like a Spirit Box with it, just so you can validate your responses on it until you get a little familiar with it and put trust in it. But it's been working pretty well, and hopefully you guys can try it out, test it out, and let us know.
So let's talk about the app, though.
Well, really quick. For those,
of course, she cuts me off.
Yes, for those that want to know more about the app, you can go back on our YouTube channel. We did actually have Sean on talking about his app a while back. But I wanted to say, since you're in here, Chris, and you did help develop the app and all that fun stuff, you have a huge fan of SPI in here. Emily, where are you at? Emily swears by SPI. She has gotten some crazy evidence with SPI. I'm very upset at SPI right now. I'm mad at you and I'm mad at Sean because y'all are just like partial to iPhone users.
Yeah, y'all suck.
We're hoping to get the Samsung version out, hopefully sometime soon.
I'll beta test it.
Yeah, definitely. The funny part is me and Sean are both like Android users. I had Android for a while. I actually just switched to iPhones probably recently.
Poor thing.
But I've always been Yeah, I honestly like with my video stuff that I'm doing, it actually like helps me out a little. It's a little easier to use, to be honest with you.
Now, due to SPI, Sean went out and got like a burner iPhone from a pawn shop.
I did $20
and like got it for like $20, and
Shout out King Pawn.
we downloaded SPI, so we actually do take it with us on investigations. Ronnie, I would rather go home.
Yeah, I am at home, Ronnie.
Yeah, we're already home.
Listen,
But what were you saying about
I'm
SPI?
not a fan of phone apps. I'll put that out there. I'm not a fan of phone apps.
I am.
Y'all know that. However, I will say that SPI, I've tried to trick it. I've tried everything to debunk it. And I will say that I have gotten I've done great investigations with it. I will give y'all some evidence I've gotten with it. I don't have it to show because I wasn't actually investigating when I got the evidence with it. We were in Gettysburg at one of our favorite locations, Rainworth Lodge. If you haven't been, then you're missing out. Like, if you haven't been to Rainworth to investigate, you are missing. Yes, I know you guys love Trans-Allegheny. You love the penitentiary.
Nobody loves them Trans-Allegheny prices.
You love all of these places. But for $350, you're investigating a 300-year-old location with documented history. You know, it's a great place. But anyway, we were hosting a public investigation. Night one, we watch TV and just hang out, relax. Well, all kind of stuff started happening. Doors are shaking. People are walking around upstairs. We pull out and say, what a great time to check out this phone app. I decided to try to trick it. I'm like, man, there's no way this app's going to tell us that 4 people are going to be sitting here. It was 3 of us. It was me, Nye, and Courtney. There's no way it's going to tell us that 4 people are sitting here. The app responded back. I said, how many people are sitting here? While the app's listening for the EVP, it told us that 3 people are sitting here. I said, well, who's the original owner of the house? There's no way it's going to say that Courtney's the original owner of the house. It said that the Hamilton, Hans Hamilton was the original owner of the house. All the answers that this app was given, you know, who's the spirit here, this, that, and the third, our location was off. Just the things to the T. It was talking about the girls that reportedly haunt the house. You know, it was so many things that were just so accurate. And again, the flashlight thing that was going on, we have that evidence video on our TikTok.
It's on Facebook too. After our last
Facebook, we were using the app in correlation with the flashlight, and it was very accurate what was going on. So I will say, and again, at the cemetery, Sean and Chris were riding up and said the name Emma on the app. On the SPI app, Emma has a dress that she wore in the museum. Also, Emma's a name related to the girl who supposedly haunts the swing. Either way, that's a name that's related to the cemetery as well. There's no way that app or Sean would have known that because we never told them that information. They were going to investigate the swing at the time. They just left the museum after that happened. There's no way that app should have known that information. The cemetery is not an investigated place other than us and a few other teams that's been in there. So, you know, the app has been accurate every time it's been used. Emily from Lost Souls has had direct answer from locations at the Octagon Mansion. So what I will say
there she is. I knew she was coming with it. We've gotten a lot of solid evidence with SPI.
So again, I don't talk about equipment on here very often that's related to people because I don't push people's stuff. I'm not sponsored by any equipment makers, but if it's
support independent.
If it's a good piece of equipment, I will put it out there to get it, try it out, and use it for the price of it. I think that it's worth. If you're having a slow investigation, pull it out and try it and see what happens. I think it's worth that.
I mean, just like all technology, guys, there's going to be a little bit of bugs. You know, I'm very, very grateful that Sean is not one of those people that, you know, is like, grr, you're telling me what's wrong with my app, right?
He wants to hear what's wrong.
He wants to hear so he can fix. So after this Rainworth thing, we had some malfunctions. Not 100% sure they were malfunctions now, looking back on it. Hindsight's 2020. But, you know, I did take that to Sean. And I'm like, my app kept crashing. At one point, it completely uninstalled itself off of my stepdaughter's phone. Like gone. Like nowhere to be
Never had
found.
that one.
Searched it in the search bar. Like just gone. And when she went to go re-download it, it told her she never even owned it. We had to pay for it again.
Really?
And I'm like, this is so strange, right? So, of course, yes, this is a paranormal podcast. So I'm going to put a shameless plug in for the ghosts out there. Like, y'all are the MVPs because you can manipulate a whole like Play Store, like to uninstall an app because that was very bizarre. And
Yeah,
I have no explanation. I mean, I can uninstall an app off my Android. She can uninstall an app off her iPhone. If she's already paid for it, it's paid for. So
Right.
she can reinstall it. This was like it was never even there.
Huh.
And like it caused me to like actually go and check my bank account. Like, did it refund my money or something, And no. So I was like, oh cool, well, let's download it again if it happens again.
If you paid for it twice, you can actually go into the app store and there's a little section where you say it actually charge you twice. It actually refund you one of the two money. One of the two transactions.
I could
You
have
can probably still do it. No, you can probably still do it.
All right,
If
remind
you go
me
in there.
on our phone this weekend.
Yeah.
All right,
You can find the one transaction, you dispute it, and what Apple does is they just refund it back to your account.
Bet. All right, cool.
But I will say the app has not, it's not like your necrophonics where you're trying to guess. Did it say that? Is it a word bank? No, this app was actually legit saying things that it shouldn't know. So,
but there's also other features to the app too. Chris, can you tell us about some of the other features really quick?
So, yeah, I was just going to cover a little bit on that too, like what you were talking about. So this app does not have a word bank. The word bank is non-existent. It's basically open speech. They can say anything that it hears. If it hears a cuss word, it's going to say a cuss word. That's why we put that disclaimer on the front of it, because we don't determine what it says. Whatever the spirit is trying to say, or whatever it thinks is listening to, or whatever it's hearing, is actually going to put it on the screen.
We know it'll cuss. Emily, we know it'll cuss.
Yeah, we've investigated with Lost Souls quite a bit, and I've seen it do stuff on her app, like ask questions and answer questions without nobody saying anything.
Yeah, like the spirits were like trying to do an EVP on us.
Yeah,
that's funny. So that's what we always say too. Like because of the app being so new and us testing everything with it, we like using another piece of equipment with it, like maybe like a spirit box. Like I said, spirit box to me, like, yeah, you hear all that white noise and everything, but when this app works, it usually has a response with the spirit box too. Like you'll get the similar or the same response through the spirit box, which I find like it's insane. Like it's kind of cool to get that validation behind it,
right?
But also the app itself also has a map, which we're starting to add more locations on it, which it'll actually show you where you're at, and it'll give you like any haunted locations around you that are well known or well documented that are haunted. There's a couple more things that we're trying to work on into getting onto that section, which I don't know if Sean covered it in the past. Basically, we're just trying to make it a user experience. So if Courtney or Sean were at a cemetery and they decided to do an EVP session in a certain location, it actually detects that location. They can mark that location where they got the EVP session, and where they got a response. And now you, as another investigator, not really knowing much, if you want to find out exactly where they got that EVP response and you want to investigate that area, you can actually follow the map, almost like you're geocaching in a way. You know what I mean? You can follow it; it'll lead you right to it. Those are some of the features we're still talking about, trying to get on the app itself. But it should be cool once we get it. The map is already there. You can look at the map and see what you get. Before, I know there was a lot of concerns regarding the location and the AI, like determining where you were at. So we actually turned that off, and we actually give you the option now to turn that completely off so it doesn't interfere with itself.
Yep.
So that's there. And obviously the answering question section is still there, but the SAM mode is what I kind of like using better because it's a little more harder to get a response. But when you do get the response, there's like no questions about it. You're actually getting a response, which is interesting.
MVP.
Awesome.
James,
Thank
can't
you.
wait.
Yeah,
James,
let me know how you make out.
It's a good app, James. Like I said, I don't vouch for people's stuff. You notice I don't plug in a lot of equipment on the podcast, but I will say that every time I've used it or seen it used, it's got results.
Yeah.
And we do the same thing as far as like utilizing multiple devices with it. So the main reason why I downloaded it on my stepdaughter's iPhone and then on ours is we were using it simultaneously.
Yeah, they use
to
both
see
at the
if
same
we
time.
got the same responses. And then Sean came in with a third device, his DR60. So we were doing like a trifecta.
And I tell you what's crazy
Whatever.
is that their two SPIs talked about whatever entity not liking me, and it was literally my DR60 was giving me like racist comments. So I was getting called the N-word on my DR60, and theirs were saying how they didn't like me.
Yeah, like they were telling
I mean,
Sean.
that's why I said, man, like y'all can take my word for it or not. You can believe me or not. I felt like I was getting good results with the SPI.
And James, find Emily with Lost Souls. Emily, you're coming this weekend, right? So if you need help with the app, Emily is a pro with SPI at this point. Like everywhere she goes, she busts it out.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
and just so you guys know too, it actually keeps a log of your sessions. So if you're doing the sessions, you want to go back to see what you got. It'll actually keep a log. It'll it'll timestamp it by date and time of when you started the log and when you ended the log, which you can access it all in the app as well, which is neat.
Now, can you download your logs?
So what I've learned, what I do is I take a video, a screen video, or record the screen with the actual app and
Screen record.
And you can also copy and paste it into your notes if you want to keep it.
Okay,
you
cool.
Can hold down on it, copy and paste it, and put it onto your Apple Notes, and you can save it there.
Cool.
But I'll tell you what, like all of my notes from the time that I downloaded the app till now, like they're all there. Like they're all like I haven't deleted it all or erased.
Awesome.
Thank you, James, for downloading it. Thank you guys for actually pushing the app, or not pushing the app, but talking good about the app. And I'm glad you guys like it. And like I said, if you guys have any issues with it, just you can either message Sean on Facebook or message me before doing anything on Apple, because Apple actually pushes the app back if you put any negative remarks to it. So we're just kind of like trying to keep the positive remarks up. If you guys like the app, and you want to leave like some sort of positive remarks on the Apple Store, you can also do that on there, because it definitely helps the app to be.
Don't be dick. That's what Chris is trying to say. Don't be a dick and leave a negative review. Just inbox them.
Yeah, just send us a message.
Today, like they cannot fix stuff unless they know what's wrong.
Support your paranormal people, your peers.
Everybody in here, Chris, has nothing but love. We love every one of our listeners.
We do. It's all love here.
They've stuck with us an hour and 45 minutes.
That's
tonight.
crazy. For y'all to sit here and listen to us that long, that's definitely love. And we love y'all back.
I love y'all.
Thank y'all for watching. Thank you guys for having me on. I had a blast investigating with you guys, and we definitely got to do it again. So,
yeah, for sure.
In August, right, Chris?
I'm down. Listen, you let me know. As long as I have the dates ahead of time, we're good.
It's already booked. But again, guys, go give Chris a like, Facebook, TikTok, IG, Supernatural Untold Stories.
He's got good stuff.
If you don't follow us, we are Hill City Paranormal, HCP Paranormal Podcast, and on the other side on Spotify. If you guys have any questions about tonight's show, feel free to send us a message. Shoot me an email, hillcityghosts, plural.
With an S.
At gmail.com. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Courtney.
I'm Sean.
And we'll see you on the other side.
See you.